All right, this is OneLastMidnight. Welcome back to another episode of Astroneer. So I was asked by a subscriber, what's the range of the thrusters? And I thought, well, okay, maybe people out there don't know this. Maybe people are looking at the game thinking I might want to buy it, and this would be a decent video to show. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. Okay, thrusters in Astroneer come in two flavors. They come in the solid fuel thruster, which is good for a limited use, and they come in the Hydrazine thruster, which is refilled up with hydrazine. And that particular thruster can actually hold 3 canisters of hydrazine. Let's talk about the solid fuel thruster. Now, the solid fuel thruster is pretty easy to make. All you're going to need is 1 aluminum and 1 ammonium. Now, aluminum is pretty abundant on Silva. Actually, it's pretty abundant on all planets, and so is ammonium. But the problem with ammonium is it's slightly a little bit harder to find. Usually ammonium can be found inside of, on Silva, can be found inside of the trees, hilly area. It can also be found down into the cave system, or you can use your soil centrifuge to make ammonium as well, at the cost of a full load of soil, which is 2 canisters. The hydrazine thruster is a little bit more difficult. It's going to require you to have tungsten, which is wolframite that has been smelted, and it's going to require you to have titanium alloy, which is titanite that has been smelted and gone through the chemistry lab. Titanium alloy is created through several different processes. First, you're going to need nitrogen, which is easy to get on Silva. Maybe not so easy on other planets, so make sure that if you're making this particular thruster, you try to make it on a planet that has nitrogen, or you're taking nitrogen with you. It's going to require titanium, and it's going to require graphene. Graphene is created from graphite and hydrazine. And hydrazine is created from 2 ammonium and hydrogen. Once again, make sure you're on a planet that has hydrogen, or that you bring it with you. So it's a little bit trickier to build because of the process that you have to go through to create the titanium alloy. However, once you have it built, all you're going to need is hydrazine to be able to fuel your thruster to be able to go from planet to planet. Once you have your hydrazine, it's easy to connect up to the thruster. Just place it on an empty available node and it'll attach. Now your thruster is ready to take off. It's also interesting to note that it can be removed from the thruster as well. So if you wanted to take it off and use it in something else, a chemical process at the chemistry lab, or if you wanted to use it on another thruster, you could, as long as it hadn't been consumed first. Now let's talk about the range of the particular thrusters. The solid fuel thruster will give you 2 launches and 2 lands. So a single trip, a round trip, as it says in the tooltip. This is probably going to be your first stage thruster. I doubt you're going to have wolframite laying around, or you're going to have titanite laying around to be able to make the items that are necessary for the hydrazine thruster. This is going to be your best bud. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Yes, it is a round trip. And even if things go wrong, again, if you look at my guide for the planet resources, everything that is needed to create the solid fuel thruster is on every single planet. So there is no getting stranded. You can easily make the solid fuel thruster anywhere. Just attach your solid fuel thruster to your spaceship, your shuttle, whichever version you have. Jump in your spacecraft and launch. Pick your destination of the planet or moon that you want to visit and launch there. As soon as you visit the planet, this is considered 1 trip of your round trip thruster. Have fun on your new planet or moon, but when you're ready to leave, jump back into your spacecraft and launch again. Pick your home destination, or pick any other planet that you want to go to, and click it to visit. At this point in time, your thruster will break. Your thruster is no longer good. You only have 1 more landing left. So make sure you're either landing at a pre-existing base, or if you want to get really exciting, land somewhere different and pretty much start all over again. Build your base up, build up to the thruster, then be able to take off again. Now, it's interesting to note that this thruster is no longer usable anymore. It actually says it's used, and it's salvage. So what you can do is, if you happen to have a shredder, you can easily drop it into the shredder and shred it, and it'll produce 1.5 items of scrap. Not too bad. for 1 aluminum and 1 ammonium. The exchange rate is pretty decent if you want to use it for scrap. Let's talk about the Hydrazine thruster. Now, the Hydrazine thruster is not a single-use item. It is a completely reusable item. As long as you have Hydrazine, you're able to use the thruster. It'll never break. It will always stay intact. It just runs out of fuel. The amount of use you can use on a Hydrazine thruster is significant. It will allow you to launch and land approximately 2 full round trips. So my trip from Silva to De Solo and back again took up half of the Hydrazine, and it can be used again in the thruster to take another round trip. But Hydrazine is pretty simple to make, and my suggestion is as soon as you can get up to the technology to make the Hydrazine thruster, do so. It's easier to use than the single solid state thruster, and there's no waste. You don't have to re-scrap it after every use. What's interesting to note is regardless what spaceship you're using, the solid fuel thruster and the Hydrazine thruster both give you the same range. So while you're in space, your range is this white line off into the distance, which you can easily get to all the planets within that range. This is regardless of thruster that you use and regardless of space shuttle that you use. Now, at one point in time, System Era was talking about restricting your distance based off of shuttle that you use, but I think that ultimately they changed their mind, and every shuttle and every thruster will get you to any planet. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. You know, I wanted to explain thrusters mainly because somebody asked, and you know what? I don't think anybody's got a thruster video out there. So if you're looking at buying the game, hopefully this will help you understand your limits when you're about to take off and go into space. If you haven't already, hit that like button. And if you guys are not subscribers, I would suggest you join the community. We have a great community here. You can find all of my links to my social media in the description below. And I hope to see you guys again soon. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. Please remember to hit that like button if you like the video and subscribe to our channel so you can stay on top of all of our latest video releases. I release content almost every day. We'll see you guys soon. Bye.